We'd pass a house, then there wouldn't be another until a mile or more down the road. I'd been surprised by it, but I'd also remembered it. This place so much like the dream. No wonder I'd thought of it when Driscoll, my probation officer, and Ms. Lloyd, the social worker, and Judge Robbins were all coming up with their ideas of what to do with me. After all, you were supposed to be able to ask your grandparents for things. But the men in my books, they never asked anything of anyone. I wanted to be like that too. Then Grandma was calling up the stairs. "Supper!" "Okay," I called back, and I started stuffing my clothes into the drawers of the dresser, which were empty. Grandma must have cleaned them out for me. So why hadn't she cleaned out the whole room? All I could see now were my mom's old stuffed animals. Some mice in frilly dresses, a huge pink giraffe, and cats and bears and monkeys and stuff, all lined up across the headboard of the bed, as if she still lived here. The comfort of the dream was gone. I could smell her in the room. I sank down onto the bed. I took down the pink giraffe and leaned back against the headboard, holding that giraffe tight against me, just like a little kid. I could feel it soft against my cheek, but the wood of the headboard was hard. It hurt where it pressed against my shoulders and my head. I felt that too. But I couldn't move. I was glad no one could see me like that, hugging a dumb stuffed animal. I was thinking that as if one half of my brain was seeing things from somewhere else, somewhere rational. But with some other part of my mind, the part that is always screwing up, I pulled my knife from my pocket. I pressed the point into and through the pink fur, right into the long pink neck. "You've got to learn to manage your anger." I could almost hear Ms. Lloyd saying that to me as I watched the white stuffing swell out behind the blade. Chapter 2. I'd started the dream so long ago I couldn't remember not having it. Back when my mom was so much bigger than me, there really wasn't anything else I could do. I must have seen a TV Western. Then, whenever I needed it, I'd have this dream. I'd see myself riding off into the sunset, getting away from the bad guys. The dream would let me find sleep. But that night I couldn't see myself riding off anywhere. Instead, I kept seeing that stuffing all over the bed, and Grandpa watching me pick up every piece of it, with Grandma running in and out of the room, her arms full of stuffed animals, storing them away somewhere else, rescuing them from me. "Just one false move," was what Driscoll had said. He'd never been in favor of letting me come here. Would they call him and tell him I'd blown it already? And he could come take me away to McBride, the training school he'd guaranteed would straighten me right out. But in the morning, Grandma called up the stairs without saying anything about Driscoll or McBride, just that it was time to get up. And when I got down to the kitchen, I found her scooping pancakes onto a plate. There was also warm maple syrup, and her homemade butter I remembered from that summer I'd stayed here. It was round and sat in a little blue and white bowl in the center of the table. Would anyone fix a breakfast like that for someone they were going to send away? But it wasn't until I was carrying my dishes to the sink, trying to do everything right, so why had I stabbed that stupid giraffe, and Grandma said, "They're going to start sending the bus up here, but I'll drive you to school today," that I knew for sure I was getting another chance. Outside, the grass was flecked with white. It crunched under my feet. I could see my breath as I waited for Grandma to back the pickup out of the garage. I rubbed my hands together, bounced from foot to foot, and thought about how it had been so hot here that summer you had to jump in the pond in the middle of the day. But now it was October, almost November. My mom had told me about it snowing so much they had to close the schools, and how she used to build these big snow forts. I'd never lived anywhere where it got cold like that. But pretty soon I was in the truck with the heater cranked up, and we were bouncing back down the gravel road we'd come up the day before, going past the same empty hills until we reached the town of Rimrock. I hadn't seen Rimrock before.